It's a celebration of innovation, inspiration, and exploration, of influences, leaders, and changes of fortunes of the people around them. It is a salute to those who do that and more in the field of Africa's agriculture. It is the Africa Food Prize. In 2020, the joint winners of this auspicious prize are Dr. Nakalembe and Dr. André Bationo. Dr. Bationo has been awarded based on the impact of his work on microdose technology and the inventory credit systems that have changed the lives of millions of smallholder farmers. While Dr. Nakalembe has been awarded for her dedication to improve the lives of smallholder farmers by using satellite technology to harness data that provides forecasts which guide agricultural decision-making, helping prevent the potentially disastrous impacts of crop failure.
I remember my first conversation with my PhD advisor was I went to see him and he asked me to tell him about myself. And I told him I'm from Uganda. I just finished my master's in geography and environment engineering. I'm really interested in, gaining as much knowledge as I can and then, have the opportunity to work back home. And in our first meeting, he said, "How would you like to go do field work in Uganda?" I couldn't believe it because first it meant a trip back home to see my parents. My PhD focused on drought and agriculture monitoring, largely because the Karamoja region is one of the only regions in Uganda that consistently faces chronic food insecurity, which it's not a very straightforward thing that it's just, not enough rain or not enough seeds or not enough resources. It's a very complex problem. But then I set out to try and use data to be able to contribute to that.
I obtained a PhD in soil fertility and chemistry from Laval University, Quebec, Canada. I've been very lucky to get my first job with the International Fertilizer Development Center, IFDC. I was able to build a soil chemistry laboratory and to develop a research program on soil fertility management for the different agroecological zones of West Africa.
I helped design a program in Uganda called the Disaster Risk Financing Program, and my contribution was to develop the trigger mechanism, which is when do we determine that things are bad, that we need to roll out this program. And all of that using remote sensing data. So we use satellite data, understand that there's going to be, a high probability of crop failure very early in the season. And the design of that program is that once this is determined, then they would roll out programs that people who would be working in their field would do other things rather than continue to work in their field because there wouldn't be sufficient rainfall to sustain that season.
We're predominantly sandy soil in West Africa Sahel are particularly low in phosphorus and nitrogen. The microdose technology is a strategic application of small quantities of fertilizer in the yield of a target crop at planting rather than broadcasting higher quantities all over the field as previously recommended. This technology ensures efficiency in fertilizer use by the plant and reduce losses through leaching or runoff. The warranty system is a social safety net mechanism aimed at tackling the problem of financial liquidity and access to credit by the value chain actors. The system enables producers to access cash loan against the value of their stored farm produce at harvest when the price is relatively low. The system enables farmers to have advance credit, store their grain and sell 4 to 5 months later when prices improve, thus earning better return on their investment.
Dr. Bationo's pioneering work in these areas is benefiting millions of farmers in West Africa, while Dr. Nakalembe has impacted the lives of farmers and those most defenseless against food failure.
In recent data in Burkina Faso, we can see that yield increase with the use of the microdose technology between 80 to 145%.
The satellite data that I primarily work with enables us to track what's happening with crops in the field, know potentially how fields will perform at the end of the season, but all of this, going back to the data point, requires accurate, timely data. It requires a very good source of ground truth to know what crops are growing in order for us to be able to use like machine learning and artificial intelligence to scale. The capacity to use remote sensing for agriculture monitoring needs to be housed in ministries within the government, because fundamentally the government makes decisions continuously to support their communities. And so having the analysts who provide information to the decision maker ready to provide the best information is my #1 critical goal.
These outstanding efforts were noted and got the attention of the Africa Food Prize, which weighed the impact of the work and saw them fit to join the gallery of previous laureates.
When I got the call, and so I pick up the phone and the gentleman on the other side says, "Please hold on for His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo." I was like, what? I don't remember anything that he said except I want to say congratulations to you and thank you for all the good work and keep it up. And I was so excited. I had no words to say except, oh my God, this is amazing, it's unbelievable. It was just, I couldn't believe it.
My first feeling is that by winning the Africa Food Prize, I will have more opportunity to expose these technologies to the rest of Africa and therefore increase their adoption Africa-wide. I am a strong believer that Africa can feed itself.
The 2020 Africa Food Prize laureates are not resting on their laurels. Going ahead, they have a view of a more prosperous Africa, especially for Africa's farmers.
The combination of the warranties and the macrodose can work in many other parts of Africa, and there is need to continue scaling up these technologies through the establishment of an enabling policy environment.
My hope is to one day ensure that no farmer has to operate in the dark without access to information to make decisions about what they plant, when they plant, what investments that they need to make in order for their fields to flourish.